What's up guys, Justin here with the CGEssentials.com, back with another Blender texture node tutorial for you. So in today's video we're going to check out the wave texture node and how you can use it to make procedural materials in Blender. Let's go ahead and just jump into it. Alright, so the wave texture node is a node in Blender designed to help you add procedural bands or rings inside of your materials. And so what does that mean? That means that basically this is going to add bands onto your object. So what we want to do is let's go into, I've got the shader editor open and I want to add a wave texture node. So I'm going to do a Shift A, I'm going to add a wave texture node right here. Now I'm just going to drag the color into the base color of my principled BSDF. And so if you look at this, notice what it's doing is it's procedurally generating different bands on here. So if I come in here and start adjusting things, notice how these bands are going to adjust inside of your scene. And we'll look at these in a little more detail in a second, but just note that there's multiple different settings in here for creating very complex kind of wave textures. But what I want to do is I want to start by looking at these inputs right here. And so there's options in here for bands and rings. And if you switch between them, notice how you're not getting a very different result right now. Well, that's because these are currently set to generate along the x-axis of the object. Well, for the rings, I can just switch this to spherical. Notice how then this gives me rings radiating outward from a point. If I was to do bands, this is going to give me the option to go diagonal instead. So you can select between these two options, and then you can select the direction that this is going by adjusting the second box right here. So notice how each one of these I select, I get a different result. And so one thing to note about this is if you do want to move this around, you can do our kind of like typical texture coordinate node setup where we're just going to do a texture coordinate node right here, and then we'll add a mapping node right here. We'll just drag the generated texture coordinates into our vector. We'll drag our vector into our vector. Now you can actually move this around on your surface. So notice how I can set this so that my central point is somewhere other than the corner of my surface. And so just for a second, let's jump back to our bands and let's take a look at this third option. So the third option is going to set the profile that this is using to generate your surfaces. So notice how basically what this means is this means that with each one of these that you select, you're going to get kind of a different result. So notice with the sine, you get kind of like wider black bands in here. With the saw, it's going to transition from more of like a thinner line outward in this direction. And notice how if we scale this up, what you're getting is you're really getting the grayscale moving in one direction when we do that, where if we set it to sine, it's kind of going outward in both directions from these central points. I haven't quite figured out the triangle. It's kind of like the sine, but it's just the black bands themselves aren't quite as wide. So you can use those to set the different kinds. You can use this to set the sine profile that it's using to generate these edges. So now let's look at these options down below. So we've got options in here for things like scale. So scale is going to make this bigger or smaller. And then distortion is where things start getting really interesting. Because right now, right, it's kind of boring. It's just adding bands in here. But if you start adding distortion, what that's going to do is that's going to add distortion to your edges. And notice how the further right I drag this, the more distortion this is going to add. So you can use this in order to make more wavy lines or other things like that. The cool thing about this is once you do that, you can start doing other things like adjusting your detail. Notice how when I adjust my detail, now what I get is I get more detail kind of around where the edges turn, like this. So when I get more detail in here, what that means is I could use this to create things like different woods, or I could use this to create like marble materials. Notice how if you drag your detail scale up, then this is going to look a lot different than if you have it a lot smaller. So you can use this in order to control the result that you're getting. And then your detail roughness is going to set how rough the result you create is. So if I drag this to the left, notice how these are very rough. If I drag this to the right, then notice how these are very detailed. And the cool thing about this is I could totally use this to create like a granite material or something like that. So it's very detailed in here. You can also use the phase offset to move how this is placed on your surface. So that's how you can add the wave texture node, but there's some other things you can do with this as well. So another thing you can do is you can also combine these with a color ramp node. So let's say, for example, that I've got a wave texture applied to this sphere right here. Well, if instead of dragging directly out of your color, what you do is you add a color ramp node coming off of this, and then drag that color into your principled BSDF, notice how you can use these different colors in order to generate different materials on surfaces. And I'm finding that the best result that I'm getting if I'm trying to create stripes is to take these, and instead of using the ease, you use the constant, because then it's going to give you a very pronounced edge in here. But things start getting really interesting when you start playing around with the scale and also the distortion in here. So you can use the detail in order to add detail. You can adjust the scale. Notice how it just gives you a lot of different options in here. So you can also get some fun results if you start combining this with like a Musgrave texture or like a noise texture or something like that. So if I just drag that in here, for example, and then drag that into my height, we can kind of get a look at what that's going to do. But that's going to add some really interesting additional results to this surface right here. So I will link to some videos on this page about some other texture nodes as well. But leave a comment below, let me know if you have any questions. As always, thank you so much for taking the time to watch this, and I will catch you in the next video. Thanks, guys.